So another one of my funded accounts is up 0.64%, and I'm going to go over last week's trades. So here's the dashboard showing the account and the current profit of 0.64%. Typically on this account, I trade GA, EU, and some of the indices along with Bitcoin. Interestingly, the best trade is $336, but the worst trade is actually negative $380, and the win rate is 74%. So the two trades I'm going to discuss are on EU and GA. So the loss was on EU and the win was on GA. So on EU, I was looking at a buy because of price revisiting some previous levels. So to end out the month of September, there have been a few pushes to the upside. So once Sunday opened and we were getting towards the end of the month, I was anticipating that we would revisit some of these levels. So Sunday price opened and went up during London session. After that, it pushed downward into a new low on Monday. And I marked out this low along with the Asian session low from Monday to see what are potential price targets. And so I saw this imbalance had formed here. And so I was looking to get back into this area of imbalance that was between the Asian low and Monday's low with a buy. Going down now to the 15-minute chart. During New York session, there had been a bit of bullishness that I was seeing form during the New York session. And so I was looking to take that momentum to the upside, get above these wicks, and get into this range between these two lows. But what instead happened was that there was a wick on top of this bearish candle, and then price continued to go bearish, and then it went into consolidation. So this was a potential 1.5R trade that ended up being a loss of 27 pips. But this was a good loss because for the rest of the week, price continued to go bearish. So looking in hindsight now, there were potential opportunities for buys, such as maybe a buy limit around this area of imbalance. Maybe that could have been 20 pips, but for the most part, price continued to go sideways and creep downward. And actually, on Friday, there was a huge push down. So this week was clearly a bearish week for EU. So I took that as a lesson and I moved on. So on GA, I was trying to exercise patience throughout the week. The weekly range was actually over 200 pips, starting from Sunday's open all the way down to Thursday's low. Now, I was intending to take a buy because there had been a huge downtrend from the previous week and I wanted to catch the reversal, but I had to see when and how that will be appropriate. So looking at the 15-minute chart, during London session, it went up a bit above Sunday's open and then proceeded to enter this kind of creeping downtrend for the rest of Monday and going into Tuesday. Wednesday actually broke Tuesday's low and again then retraced back up to near the top of Asian session's high. There have been a lot of activity in the Middle East from a fundamentals perspective that was impacting how price was moving. So there's the technicals, which are what you see on the chart, and then there's the fundamentals, which is what's actually going on in the world. And both of these are really important to consider when you're looking to get into trades. So Thursday opened around the same high that Asian session had formed on the previous day. Then there was a huge downward push, which left a lot of imbalance, going past the low that had formed during Asian session on Thursday and forming a brand new low on Thursday during London session. After a huge move like this, and this move was actually, wow, over 100 pips. There's usually consolidation. So there's consolidation after a huge move. At this point, I was looking to see if price was going to break to the downside or to the upside as that contracting triangle formed. So eventually during London session, it broke to the upside. And I was looking for an entry when I woke up during the New York session. So when I woke up, one thing that I saw was that there had been this bullish candle that had formed with a huge wick down to this imbalance that had formed during London session. This seemed to indicate that price would continue to be bullish. So because of that, I was looking for a buy and I wanted the buy to get above the wick of these two railroad looking candles. So there's this pattern where you have a big bullish candle and then a big bearish candle. And that's what I was seeing here. So I took a buy right after this pin bar candle had formed because this bullish candle had a lot of momentum behind it. 1-to-1 trade, and I got out when price got around to that wick area. Now for the rest of the day, price actually continued to go higher, but it's really important to lock your profits in once you get them. You don't want to be too greedy because that's where you can end up losing all the profits that you made. And that can be pretty frustrating. That can actually be extremely frustrating. So here's my daily overview for the trades last week. And one thing that I think is really important is to have multiple accounts, whether they're funded, personal, whatever the case may be, have multiple accounts so that when you get into profit on one of them, you can secure those profits and go on to trading the next account instead of worrying about keeping the profit that you already got by doing additional trades and then potentially losing it. That way, if you see new ideas, you can take them safely and know that you already have profit that is secure. So that's how it went. Let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next recap.